Hi, my name is Dr. Allison Romero. I am a doctor of physical therapy and pelvic floor specialist. Here's a quick check-in about signs of intolerance. If our body is not generating the proper support that it needs to execute a movement, it's going to result in a sign of intolerance. Things like doming, coning, leaking, the urge to pee, pain, low back arching, and pressure or heaviness down into the vagina or pelvic floor are all signs that our body is not able to generate the support that it needs to execute this movement, and it is not tolerating the load. Let's talk through these and what they look like. So first we're going to look at doming or coning, which are very similar. And we have Therese here. Thank you for being here, Therese. And Therese is going to be able to show us doming, but she's actually healed her diastasis with Every Mother, and so she won't be able to show us coning. We'll just talk through it. So doming is when the transverse abdominis is not engaging and the rectus abdominis, or our six-pack muscle, is overdoing the move. And a lot of times we're going to see this with a forward flexion movement, like getting out of bed or a sit-up or a crunch. Therese, we're going to really tax her system here to get her to be able to dome. So Therese, if you can go ahead and do a straight double leg lift here. And if you can see right here, she's got a round here and the transverse abdominis is not filling up that space. Go ahead and lower down. This is a super hard move. I don't expect many people to be able to do this without doming, but this is the way that we could get Therese to demonstrate a doming. So doming or bread loafing is when we see this dome arching up out of the abdomen and coming forward. And what we really want to see is a zipped up transverse abdominis, pelvic floor, and then lower, middle, upper abs zipping up like a jacket and really holding in that abdominal core. So I'm going to ask Therese to do a different move in that same realm to show us the correct zip up. So Therese, we're going to do a single straight leg lift, and let's start by inhale, reset and inhale, lengthen. Exhale, engage with the core compression. Good. And now we're going to lift just the one leg. And we can see here, Therese is flat, there's no doming occurring, it's all zipped up. And that's how we know that the core, you can go and lower that down, that's how we know that the core is getting the support that it needs to execute that movement. Coning is very similar. It's still meaning that the transverse abdominis is not coming in to support that central midline tendon, the linea alba here. So what we would see if we were able to see coning is a tenting or pointiness at the linea alba that's just popping up right here at the midline. And if we're seeing that, again, we need to reset with an inhale, re-engage with the core compression exhale, and then retry the movement. Next, we're gonna go into low back arching, which can be associated with or lead to low back pain. And what's happening here is we are tilting the pelvis forward, tilting the rib cage upward, and lengthening the abdominal musculature while we're compressing our low back and the spinal supporters in that low back too. It makes our body feel like we have more support, but this is really not the way that we want to be engaging our deep core and pelvic floor system. So we see this a lot with a push-up or a plank. But we can see this with other moves too. Therese, I'm gonna have us do a plank here. Okay, so let's roll so we're facing down. And so if we were to look at a low back arching situation in a plank, it would look something like this. Yeah, just like that. So what we wanna do here is reset, inhale, re-engage with the core compression, exhale, good. And now we've sort of neutralized this lumbar spine. We've zipped up the front like a jacket, bottom to top, and we're now able to re-execute this movement with proper core support. Thanks so much, Therese. Leaking, the urge to pee, or pressure or heaviness down into the vagina or pelvic floor are all also signs that our body is not able to tolerate the load in this circumstance. So what we may need to do here is reset, re-engage, reset with an inhale, re-engage with an exhale, core compression, and try that move again. Sometimes in this situation, we just need to slow down or decrease the repetitions until we can sort of knock on the door of those symptoms but not go right through it. So this may mean jogging for 30 seconds and then walking for 2 minutes. It may mean doing 5 jump ropes and then break. It may mean lowering the height that we're jumping, lowering the weight that we are lifting, so that we can just sort of come up to the barrier of where we're about to have those symptoms and then really teach the core to engage where it's needed. So if you're seeing any of these signs of intolerance, pain, pressure into the vaginal canal, coning, doming, leaking, or the urge to pee, we're going to want to reset, re-engage, and try the move again. If we can start to build the optimal core foundation to support our pelvis and the structures within and meet it where it's at, we can go on to move and feel better sooner and carry these improvements long term.